What's up, y'all? Welcome back to a second channel video. The lighting down here is strange at the moment. This light up here, one of the bulbs, has been dying for the past few months, and nobody's done anything about it yet, so, it's currently in its dimmer state. But I want to do this video, and I want to do it now! So, we're just gonna have to deal with it, aren't we? Let me see if I can straighten this out a little bit more. That's better. Yeah, I want to show off, my bookshelf. I have been working on organizing it a little bit better. Just out of this frame, you can actually see a little bit of it, actually. This bottom shelf is an absolute fucking mess. But that will be cleaned up in due time, once I have this basement back to myself and I can rearrange stuff a little bit. Hopefully, the whole place will look a little bit better, but we're making the most of it for now. But yeah, I have been trying to, I can't really say get back into reading, because I was never really into it, but I'm trying to read more. And I suppose we'll just start with the book that I just finished. I don't own it yet, but I do intend to purchase at least it, if not its whole series. That book being The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Big book, and I think the writing tended to be a little bit messy, but I absolutely loved it. 804 story pages, but I knocked it out in just under a month, which I think, kind of being the first book that I really sat down with in a very long time, save for, like, A Clash of Kings. But I've already seen the show and was kind of really slow at reading this one anyway. I don't even remember the sentence I was saying, but yeah, I loved the shit out of that book. I am going to buy it, so that I can put it on my pretty little shelf and pick it back up and read it again someday. But I want to wait until I have read its prequel, A Day of Fallen Night, so that I can see if I want to buy this one too. And then I know there's a second prequel, called... Well, I don't know exactly what the title is verbatim, but it's something about burning flowers, like the field of lavender in Yskalin that got burnt, I assume is what that title is referring to, given that it takes place directly before the events of the Priory of the Orange Tree. This one takes place 500 years prior to the Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm only, like, 20 pages into the prologue so far, but, I'm excited to get into this one. So that's that out of the way. That'll, at least the Priory will end up on the shelf one day, if not all of them. There's a bundle on Amazon to get all of the books for, I think, like $50. But those are the hardcover versions. Apparently the paperback version of the newest one isn't out yet. That drops in September. But stuff to consider. Anyway, the actual subject of the video. I'm going to start with this, actually, because it's not on the main shelf, but it's something I really wanted to show off, because it's really cool. I always wanted every book like this when I was a kid. This is Doctor Who, The Vault. Just like a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff from the first 50 years of the show. This was a 50th anniversary thing, I guess. Like, let's just flip to this random page, 1983. I recognize this guy, but I don't know what story he's from. Is there, like, a pictured thing? I don't know. I think this is... Oh! This is, the Time Lord president from the Five Doctors, I think, actually. Now that I think about it. But yeah. Really, really awesome. I've only skimmed through it so far, but, like, just taking a look at the table of contents here, like, they spend a lot of time talking about classic Doctor Who. And I mean, like, it goes by year, but even just by page count, they spend so much time on classic Doctor Who. And I am a big fan of that. So maybe I'll do a video kind of going through this, but yeah. I have already been recording for 5.5 minutes. This has been a great video so far. But the actual bookshelf itself, I mentioned A Clash of Kings I have here. Song of Ice and Fire. This is the paperback box set. I usually don't have it in the box, but until I have somewhere where I can actually put the box, they're in the box. I am reading A Clash of Kings right now. I think I'm, like, just over halfway through the book. I listened to most of A Game of Thrones, but I did finish it out in the book. But just showing off these covers real quick. Game of Thrones. By the way, I fucking hate how newer releases after the show came out just abbreviate it to Game of Thrones and have the Game of Thrones logo. Like, they designed the cover art specifically for the book. I'm not going on that rant. I fucking hate, like, books that are made into movies being branded as the movie, even though it was already, like, somebody designed the art specifically for the original book. And I fucking hate it. Like, it's brand recognition, more money, yippee, but, like, fuck you. A Clash of Kings. A Storm of Swords. Feast for Crows. And A Dance with Dragons. And also, I have this going by size, roughly, as well. Not, like, alphabetically or anything, because that would just look fucking terrible. So we're going to be jumping around in the alphabet a little bit. If that bothers you, cry about it, I guess. Normally that would bother me too, but I would much rather have it look uniform. So, gotta put these back in the box now. We'll take these off next, because I'm talking about them next. These are really cool. Star Trek Memories and Movie Memories by William Shatner. I guess these are kind of like memoir, biography kind of things, just talking about his time with Star Trek. And that's very, very cool, I think. I haven't really looked at these at all yet, but I found them today, actually, at this bookstore I decided to check out. That's where I got this Doctor Who book as well, and a couple more I'll talk about, but very, very awesome. I love books like this that just have a picture of the author on the back. I think that's kind of funny. Sharp as hell, William. Yeah, really, really cool, just in general, I think, to have stuff like this. Nowadays, I feel like, I mean, people still publish books all the time, obviously, but I feel like that may have been, these days, maybe a blog or something, so I'm glad to have books about it. Me and my fucking Anamoya goggles. But then we have The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide. I have not read a single word of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, but now I can. This is actually not too much longer than The Priory of the Orange Tree. Yeah, 815 pages of story. So if I could knock that out so quickly, I could probably knock all this out pretty quickly as well. So I know all like the memes and stuff and like the movie that they did, but very excited to delve into the actual source material one day. Chris Broad, abroad in Japan. I have recently been getting back into watching his YouTube videos. I kind of fell off of my Japanophile arc. If you go back on my upload history on this channel, it was just a whole bunch of like anime and manga and associated merchandise for a while before I just kind of stopped being into it. But I think Japan and like learning the language and learning about the culture is still kind of on my bucket list. And I love Chris Broad and abroad in Japan. He brings on Sea Dog VA sometimes. I love Connor as well. The other two guys in Trash Taste, I've kind of begun to find more and more annoying. But, yeah. I think he either just teased or released a new book recently. Journey Across Japan, I think is what it's called. Like his YouTube videos that he does sometimes. But yeah. I love this guy. I love his videos. And I really need to read this fucking book. I got, like, a decent chunk of the way into it when I bought it, but that was, like, 3 years ago. So, then we have, these are really cool. Near Replicant, the story of the game. Near Replicant is a pretty bullshit game sometimes. So if you want to experience the story without having to deal with, I don't remember what the dungeon is called exactly, but like the whole desert temple thing where like all the different rooms have different mechanics and you spend like 9 billion hours in there because my controller sucks and it has drift on it. So like all the like don't do yada yada yada, just I don't like that part of the game. And some other stuff about it as well. It's still a really great game. I think you should try it out. But really beautiful story as well, and now I can read it when I want to, when I get there. This is all a shelf of maybes. I would like to think I will make my way through all these books someday, but I don't really have the time or energy for that right now. I mean, during the summer, yeah, a little bit, which is why I read The Priory of the Orange Tree. But we've got next Star Trek Federation. This seems like a really cool kind of Generations book. Perhaps it will be better than the actual Generations movie was, considering this has like all of the original crew, of both crews really. But something interesting about the physical book itself is that you can see, like on the cover and on the spine and elsewhere on the book, that it's got the Star Trek like motion picture Deep Space Nine logo on it. But on the actual spine itself, under the jacket, it has the original series logo on it, which I just think is interesting, how they decided to do that. Now we gotta put this back in its thing. I think that is all of my jacketed hardback books. I still got one more hardback book, but we'll get there when we get there. This is Bullet Train, the book. I almost said the book based on the movie. I need to get that movie on DVD. It's gotta happen. I fucking loved that movie. I've watched, like, Blind Wave, shout out Blind Wave, great reaction channel, and just a couple other people watch it on YouTube, and I loved it when I watched them watch it. I gotta read the fucking book, and I gotta get the fucking movie. Put it on the, what does Book Talk call it? The TBR, the to be read pile. Then we've got Ice Henge by Kim Stanley Robinson. This is a really interesting book. I think I got through the first section. Yeah, here's my recipient that I used as a bookmark. I like to use receipts as bookmarks. So yeah, I got through the whole first section of the book. Really, really interesting concept. I picked it up because Ice Henge, like the concept of Ice Stonehenge on Pluto, is really interesting, but then it's just a book about the Martian Revolution. Who wants to read about that? But no, it seems really, really interesting, and I need to get back into it. I might skim the first part again just to remind myself. I know that there's a character called Davidov in it, and that's about it. Then we've got Fahrenheit 451. This was one of the only books that I read in my freshman year English class that I actually genuinely liked. I guess To Kill a Mockingbird was also cool, but that was mostly because of the movie. I really loved that movie. I gotta look for that. And then, like, The Catcher in the Rye was a book that we read. I wrote a song about it for a project. About something. I don't have the lyrics anymore, but yeah. Really good book. Very, topical, unfortunately. But, yeah. I am excited to sit down and read this again one day. And, very neat, very neat. This is another kind of behind-the-scenes guidebook for Doctor Who. This one's more unofficial, but it's still got some really neat information in here. I've just skimmed through it a little bit, but I love books like this. I'm very glad I'm finally being able to pick up some stuff like this, because I always fucking wanted stuff like this when I was a kid. So yeah, very, very neat. On the topic of Doctor Who, we've got a couple novels here, both starring the 11th Doctor. We have The Dalek Generation and Death Riders. That's about all I can say about these. Then we've got here another book that I remember really loving in elementary school is The Swiss Family Robinson. We read this like right during the height of my Minecraft obsession when I was in like I think 4th grade. So from what I remember about this book and like about it being survival kind of on a deserted island, that fit right in, and I really liked it. So I found this at a yard sale a couple months ago at this point, I think. Very excited to delve back into this. It's pretty large print, as you can see, which is always always nice. But there's, what is this, 54 chapters? XLIV, I think that's 54. But yeah, pretty nice. This is the other hard book, as you can tell. Then we've got the Dune franchise. The mass market editions, though these are actually quite a bit bigger than the other mass market paperbacks I have. But yeah, we got Dune. I haven't actually read this one yet. I've like looked through it and read some passages, but I kind of just at the time counted as having watched the Part 1 and Part 2 movies as enough. I do want to sit down and actually read my way through this one day, but that's probably not going to be anytime soon. Then we've got Dune Messiah. I did read this one. Very excited to see what they do with this in Part 3. Kind of seems like they're going to be telling some of the in-between too, which will be nice to see. Children of Dune, I found out recently that I am actually much closer to the end of this one than I thought I was. Yeah, like, bam, that's basically finished. So I gotta delve back into this and finish it out. Then we've got, of course, God Emperor, Heretics, and Chapter House Dune. Put these back on the shelf. I have 9 minutes of recording time left, so we better pick it up speedy style. I don't know why I said it like that. Then we've got a couple classic Doctor Who novelizations. We have Revelation of the Daleks and the TV movie. Very cool. Then some more Star Trek novels. I'll be doing these out of order of the way they are on the shelf. I have these organized by date. We have novelizations of The Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, and The Final Frontier. I think I showed these off in my last video that I did on all of my DVDs and stuff. Then we also have 3 original story novels, The Abode of Life, Enterprise, The First Adventure, and The Final Nexus, which is apparently a sequel story, so I'll have to see if I can track down Chain of Attack as well. But I love vintage paperbacks like this. I really, really hope I can find many, many, many more in my time on this burning earth. Then we've got Fire and Blood, Song of Ice and Fire, House of the Dragon. Season 3 has been pretty fucking good so far. I have not read this yet, and it is a very dense book, it seems. Like, these are like Bible pages. Like, I can't even get a single one underneath my finger. Like, this is a Bible page. Like, I'm honestly impressed they could cram it all into this. Our penultimate entry on this shelf is actually my mom's books, but I guess I'm doing like joint ownership right now. We have the Incarnations of Immortality series by Piers Anthony. I know there's an 8th book, but everybody online when I googled it said it fucking sucked. So not sure if I'm ever going to track that one down, but we've got On a Pale Horse, Bearing an Hourglass, With a Tangled Skein, I'm gonna assume that's how you pronounce that, Wielding a Red Sword, Being a Green Mother, then these two are under a different publisher, For Love of Evil, and Eternity. So there's those. And then, to finish us out, is a series that I picked up out of our local little library. I'm not really sure what the ethics of taking an entire series from there is, but it was there and I got there first, so cry about it. It is missing the 4th book, and I know there's 10 books in this series after Googling it, but I have, well, the first 6 minus the 4th book. I don't actually know what this series is called. I know that it has a name. Safehold! That's what it's called. The Safehold series by David Weber. So we have By Heresy's Distressed. By the way, this is the classic Doctor Who North American region DVD like titling font. I can actually grab one right here. What's one with a lot of words? The Talons of Weng Chiang. Okay, it's actually a little bit different, but like you can see there, and look at that. It's pretty similar. So I was wrong, but it is similar. But yeah, By Heresy's Distressed, How Firm a Foundation, Midst Toil and Tribulation. So I think I'm going to read these 3 and then decide if I even want to get the 4th one. I say I think because these are all pretty long-ass fucking books. Like, this is like 700 pages crammed into this one. But we'll see. Then we have the 5th off Armageddon Reef. I almost set off Armageddon Beef. And the 6th By Schism Rent Asunder. I'm pretty sure that these titles are all like taken from a poem, I think is what the Wikipedia article said, but pretty neat. It seems interesting. Again, they're all really long, so I'm not really sure if I am to the point that I can invest in like that. But again, I did just read a book that's longer than these, so it's just like a time thing. It did take me a while. Oh, I almost forgot also. Gone with the Wind. Really fucking cool. With no jacket, unfortunately, but it's the book still, and it kind of adds to the aesthetic anyway. Book talk. I don't really like the concept of book talk. I've only like watched the video essays about it, but it seems interesting. I suppose I can agree with some of the like aesthetic parts of it, which is why I have used that word now 3 times in this video, but in practice it just seems pretty weird. Not sure where that came from. But yeah, that's all my books that maybe I'll get to reading one day. This is also kind of my collector mindset setting in a little bit, which is not quite the same as with like movies, because that's like maybe a 3-hour commitment tops if we're talking about some of the more artful movies, so to speak. But this takes time and brain power, and we all know in today's day and age of social media that runs pretty scarcely. But if I was able to lock the fuck in and read The Priory of the Orange Tree, and if I can lock the fuck in and read A Day of Fallen Night, I think I can be a little bit wistful and dream that one day this entire shelf and more will be inside my brain. But yeah, I like reading. I just don't do it as much as I wish I did. And sometimes I can get distracted from it easily. Basically, just TLDR. But yeah, that's the video, I guess. So, thank you as always for watching if you did. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.